front cover as well,
Yeah,
but also give them a sense of what we may need them, what we will need them to do probably, which is to um, put the names of the communities in a way that's visible enough that the communities can see that they're there and
right.
in the right spot. The artist won't do that. She'll just provide the artwork and then we can amend it. So anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, and
Brewster, I do have some folks that want to join, that want to become members. So I'm just going to send them your email information.
Good. Thank you. Excellent.
Okay.
Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm selling membership along with advertising.
Well, great. Thank you, Lydia. You're doing a marvelous job for us. Hey, Judith, good to see you. And Jim, thank you, man. The EPA's in the house. We love that. Hey, Jen. We got, and Sonia, thank you. Ohio River Scenic Byway is here. That's wonderful. Gosh. Tiffany, thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Good to see you, Sonia. All right. I think we'll have a decent crowd coming in. All right. Thanks for joining us, Jody. We have a lot of stuff on this agenda. It's amazing. So it's going to be a busy, busy morning. Wayne, how are you, buddy?
Good, doing good, Brewster.
Okay, we're cranking on this on the sales for the guide. I'll tell you, it's amazing. So Lydia will update us.
Well, we got our bill and we paid it, so we'll have half a page going.
Oh, cool. All right.
Might as well do it.
Good.
You
So
know,
Janet Hunt, welcome. And Nate, it's good to see that Scioto County and Portsmouth is in the house. Thank you, man. How you doing, Janet? Susan Griffin Ward. All right. Kentucky Waterways Alliance is here. Cool. It's good to see guys all popping on early. Thank you very much for doing that. And then turn on your screens if you all can, just so we can see your beautiful faces and backgrounds like Susan's. So Nate, how are things up there in Scioto County and Portsmouth, huh?
Not too bad. Not too bad. A little chilly the last couple of days.
Oh no.
Supposed to warm up a little bit.
So just so everybody knows, Nate is recently has recently taken over the job being the director of the Scioto and Portsmouth Visitors Bureau, whatever you call it there, buddy. And Nate spent, I don't know, 8-10 years working for the National Park Service. So he comes out of that background, which is cool. And I see that Moses Chung with the National Park Service just jumped on. Moses, meet Nate.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, cool. All right. And we'll wait for just a couple minutes before we start. Katie Sparks, good to see you. Friendship State Bank is in the house. Katie's been doing a lot of work with us. Really appreciate it. And John Oliver with the National Park Service. John, always good to have you. Thanks so much. And Joni representing Vansburg. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. And wait, Moses, you're calling from the West Coast. It must be like really early out there. God. Nia, thank you very much. Nia Rivers is one of our brand new board members with the Division of Water for the state of Kentucky. Nia, thanks so much. And Mayor Cleaves, always in the house. Mayor, thank you very much. Representing Bellevue, Kentucky with pride. And Kelly with the American Canoe Association. Thanks so much. Okay, Mark Long. Oh, Commissioner Painter. Wow, wonderful to have you with Claremont County. He's so involved in the river and from New Richmond. So thank you very much. Annette Baker, great. Heather, got the West Virginia Rivers Coalition in the house. David Hudson, thank you. Wow, we're gonna have a good crowd here, folks. Let's keep building. Kylie Johnson with the Ohio Environmental Council. Kylie, Sarah with ODNR. Thank you so much. Wow. Susan Brown, thank you. I missed you. Thank you, Susan. Gosh. David Whitehouse. Wow. Mark Knoll, cool. I'm sorry, I can't see everybody's moving too fast for me. I apologize. If you all could start entering into the chat your names and organizational affiliations. Jim Mallory, good to see you. Then everybody else will know what breadth of representation we have. So your name, your organization, and the community that you are from. And Greg Roberts, it's good to see your Brewster Rose today. Tricia, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. Okay, we're at 46. We'll give it another minute. So while we're starting, who has some good news to share? Just go off mute and start talking. Anything that you're really excited about that's happened in your community, your organizations?
This is Annette Baker. We have a brand new mayor and some new council, and we're moving forward on some things that we've wanted to do for a very long time.
And Annette, tell us where you're from in West Point.
West Point, Kentucky. Yeah. Right. Last Riverway Review.
Well, it's great to have you. Thank you so much. Anybody else have something to share?
I'm going to share. It's Vicki. I'm not an organization, but I went yesterday to the listening meeting, and that was wonderful. Thank you, Brewster.
Well, Vicki, you do
Yes.
represent the America's Boating Club, Cincinnati, correct?
Well, yeah, I guess that's, yeah.
Yeah. So you are a dues paying member. We're grateful. And that organization represents people who are boaters and
Yeah.
very active. So thank you so much for joining us.
But I wanted to say yesterday's meeting was wonderful. Thank you.
Well, wonderful. Jordan is on the call. And
Oh,
Jordan,
he wasn't there yesterday.
right, he wasn't able to be there, but Jordan
Yep.
Lubikin is with the National Wildlife Federation. He's going to be giving a 12-minute update today on that whole Ohio restoration process. So we're
Well,
looking forward to seeing
all
that.
right. All right, Jordan, Sarah did an absolutely wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, she's a wonderful person. She's a rock star. So thank you, Vicki, for attending.
You're
Great.
welcome.
Hey,
That's-
Matt Williams, can you
that's who we missed
send me your
yesterday.
logo, okay? Matt, if you could send us your logo for our website. All right. Okay, anybody else have any good news to share?
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to the city of Vanceburg. My husband and I took a day trip from Louisville this past Saturday and to visit some of the river towns along the Ohio Riverway. And our first stop was Vanceburg. And we were people just kept coming out of their houses and businesses to stop and say hello to us. So we met the mayor and just one of the neighbors and an owner of a local business, the Carter House, and everyone was just so friendly. I encourage you to go visit Vanceburg.
Wow, that's nice. What a shout out there, right, Joni? Is there anybody on the call here from Maysville yet? Because you have some good news, and the folks in VB in Switzerland County, Indiana.
While we are waiting, Brewster, and I
Yes.
note that I'm also Brewster Rhodes up there for some reason. I wanted to let you know and let the group know that the Appalachian Grant planning process is moving forward. We have been asked to select planners. The planners became available on the 27th of last month. So all of the entities are now selecting planners, and at the state level, they will start marrying groups together, and the planning process will begin getting underway, I would think, within the next 30 days or so. So that process, after some waiting for the planning process to begin, is finally moving forward. So there should be a lot of stuff happening on the Ohio side here within the next
Excellent.
couple of months.
Thank you. Hey, Casey, do you want to say something about Maysville?
Is that on mute?
Well, bottom line, before we move ahead, and Casey can join us in a moment, but as you all know, Vivi won the USA Today competition, national competition, for being the best small town in the Midwest of America. And Maysville won the competition for being the best small town in the South. through this national competition. So two of the top small towns in America are on the Ohio River Way. So hats off, that's pretty amazing. So why don't we jump in, folks? Let's remind you that this is being recorded. We'll have a link available to share with you afterwards for those, maybe you can pass on to folks who missed. And if you could put in the chat your name and your organizational affiliation and where you live, that would be great, just so everybody else has a sense of who is in the house. So please take a moment to do that. And we have a number of reports that we'd like to go through. It's a packed agenda. But we'd love to get your input as we hear presentations and updates on things that are moving ahead. And there's so much happening here. It's very exciting. And we look forward to working very closely with all of you. And by the way, Andrea Ireland with the National Park Service is also in the house. So Andrea, it's always great to see you. Thank you very much, our good friend. So Wayne, these are going to be like 1 to 2 minute short messages or short updates on the work of different committees. That everyone was
You
invited.
want everybody to see you? Is that what you're?
No.
Okay. So Wayne, if you could just briefly say what the marketing committee is working on right now.
Well, the marketing committee primarily is focused, at least my focus, and I've talked to Katie, and I'm going to reach out to Rick here in the next couple of days. We are primarily focused on the Cincinnati Magazine article that's coming up and getting the content ready for that. As far as the marketing committee itself, what I would like to do is once we get the magazine content sort of like on autopilot, is I'd like to assess what sort of assets that we have along the entire river, what people are able to do for us, what their backgrounds are, how much time they have that they can commit to us, and sort of try to come up with something, as I've been talking about with others, something on a regional basis where everybody's sort of pulling in the same direction. So when we get to the point where we can do that, we plan on trying to reach out to people individually and kind of seeing where they are and being able to sort of put all of that together in a central informational location and be able to try to make some plans and some priorities from there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And you guys will be working as well to develop the media and outreach and press strategy. So I just really appreciate that. And there's a lot of ways that people on the call can be helpful to build our master media list. Okay.
Brewster, before we move on from the guide, I just wanted to give a shout out for it. It's just so exciting to see a local university bought the back page of it to focus on public health and the river. It's just really interesting. One of the pieces I just wanted to bring out is we're having a large exhibit at the Kentucky State Fair. And so I'm encouraging all of us to think about distribution networks for the guide and as we move forward in our planning for that. But we have a lot of people who visit the state fair and they're normal, not necessarily the normal river rats. And so we want to share our enthusiasm.
Yeah, David, we do have an agenda item. Lydia's on the call, so we'll have a little more discussion about the guide in a second, but thank you for that.
If
Wayne.
I may, for just 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
While I've got everybody on the call here, one of the things that we are going to be needing for content for the magazine are not larger form articles, but smaller pieces like a top 10 list of things to bring on your river trip or 5 safety tips or something like that, so we can fill in the smaller gaps. So if anybody has any of those ideas or any of those lists handy, if they could send them to me or to Forrest, I think that would be very helpful. Excellent, excellent. So just so you know, Forrest is our new part-time communications and administrative director, and his email is forrest@ohioriverway.org. And then he'll share them with you and everybody else. Okay, let's move right along. Next, we have a report from our tourism team. So is there a person from that team who is on the call right now? I know people are traveling. Noelle, are you on by any chance? Or Mary, Allen, or Julie? If so, just go off mute and begin. Well, I know Mary had a doctor's appointment and Noelle was traveling in Indiana. So are you on, anybody?
Okay, I'm sorry, but the tourism team had a great meeting the other day. I wasn't able to be on it. A number of participants from different tourism entities. And if you're not already connected to that team, please reach out to Noelle or Julie Kirkpatrick or to Mary Allen. And maybe one of you can put Mary Allen or Julie, put your email address in the chat. But the effort there is to bring all the tourism councils together. Oh, Noelle, you're there. Can you go off mute, Noelle, and give a quick report? There she is.
Sure, no problem. Sorry. Let me move this real quick so you don't have to look at the side of my face.
So, Noelle, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, I'm Noelle Sidlick. I'm with the Indiana Destination Development Corporation. I'm one of the 3 chairs of the Tourism Committee. And we had a great meeting last week, really just bringing our full group together. And we'll be moving forward with getting that group more engaged in 2 specific areas. One around like trip ideas and how we organize those, and supporting sort of the tourism side of the new website and the things that are already happening. And then also communicating with the marketing team on what they're doing so that we can help. And then also helping to populate that events calendar. So between those 2 things, those are where we're going to sort of focus our efforts to get started. And it's where we think we can be the most useful. And then once we get that going, we'll look to other ways that we can utilize our knowledge and expertise and engaging all the communities along the river, not just the ones that have signed up to work in the on the committee to share their tourism, pieces. So our group will really just be helping to facilitate those things. But we do appreciate our new committee member whose name is I'm going to mess up. Forrest, that's not right.
Well, Forrest, yes,
Forrest, okay.
Clevenger.
For being our go-between with the marketing committee. So we think that's going to be really helpful to us. And our next meeting is scheduled for the 2nd Wednesday in April.
2nd Wednesday in April. Excellent.
The 11th. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Noelle. Appreciate you joining us and your leadership along with Julie and Mary Allen. Wonderful. Moving right along, the conservation team. Actually, all 3 of the co-chairs had commitments that they couldn't be on the call. They gave me a quick report this year, but they had their first meeting of the conservation team. They had about 30 people representing 24 different organizations. These are park districts, conservancy organizations, watershed organizations, up and down the river from Louisville, further up towards Portsmouth. And they started developing their definition and their mission and vision for the committee. They intend to develop a conservation page for the Ohio Riverway guide that we're working on. So we'll be coordinating with those chairs, Christy Knoll, Mark Jacobs, and Jack Sutton. They'll be creating and work with us to create a map of all conserved properties along the Ohio Riverway. So wherever there's publicly owned land, that'll be developed in a GIS kind of format that will help us identify where lands might be available to put in access ramps, et cetera, that are already publicly owned, and maybe identify opportunities to expand conserved properties. So it's an exciting committee. Appreciate it. And their next meeting is the 6th of April. They'll be meeting the first Thursday of the month at 10 o'clock. First Thursday of the month at 10. And this is a perfect committee for people who represent, again, park districts, nature centers, land conservancies, watershed organizations, so county parks, city parks, et cetera. So please get involved with that committee, and maybe Forrest, you can put into the chat the email address for the chair, the overall chair, Christy Knoll. If you could put Christy's email address in the chat, then people can feel free to communicate directly with her about getting on that committee's agenda distribution list. But that's exciting. It was a huge committee meeting. It was wonderful. Okay, next, Jerry Schulte on the effort to eventually apply for the Ohio Riverway becoming, at least part of it, a national recreation trail or national water trail. Take it away, Jerry.
Yeah, Brew, good morning, everybody. And still laying the groundwork for this effort to be working with the National Park Service and getting the recognition, the National Park Service Recreation Trail recognition. So we'll be moving forward here shortly with this. And hopefully we'll get it launched later this summer sometime.
Good. Well, thank you for your leadership on that project. Jerry's been working with us for the last 4 years. He's our safety director and media coordinator. Although Wayne, fortunately, and his committee will be taking a lot of that responsibility over. But Jerry's going to be in his boat as we go down river for the 10-day paddle from Portsmouth to Louisville. So he'll be coming to your town. So you have a chance to meet Jerry if you don't. Okay. We also have a number of folks on the call who are taking personal responsibility for developing different themed tours. And Greg Roberts, do you want to share the developments around the Underground Railroad?
Yes, thanks, Brewster. The Ohio River National Freedom Corridor has been quite busy reconnecting with a lot of folks that we were working with pre-pandemic. And I'm happy to announce, and I'm going to take some of the thunder maybe from Janet Hunt from the beautiful city of Augusta. They've got the Freedom Corridor is working with the group both in Augusta and New Richmond on 2 historic Black churches, and very excited about that. And a few of us will be in Augusta this coming Saturday to work with the team there and talk with the team there with a group, wonderful group of students from Northern Kentucky University. So that's most recent happening, but also just yesterday, I was approached by another professor at Northern Kentucky University, Dr. Bill Landon, and also with Dr. Sharon Jones. They have connection with Liz Sedler in Lawrenceburg at the Archaeological Research Institute. And we've got a group of students, another group of students from Northern Kentucky University that'll be working on a project that went dormant over the pandemic called the Parker Academy Project, which they had a $367,000 National Science Foundation grant to study the historic Parker Academy in Claremontville, Ohio. And so that is getting rebooted, and they're going to be introduced to the wonderful work the Ohio River Way is doing, and look for future collaboration tying into the theme towards on the Underground Railroad, as well as the archaeological cultural assets and such in this wonderful valley.
Well, thank you, Greg. I mean, just to step back for a second, the idea here is to take these different themes: Underground Railroad, Native American history and culture, museums, ideally the brewery, winery, and distillery trail, but to put it onto our website, here are all the spots you can visit in sequential order with descriptions about each one that would encourage people to get on the road, get on a bike, get on a boat, and go visit these unique different assets that communities up and down the Ohio River have. So that's a way to encourage people to get out and about, and we'll be talking more about that. So let's keep moving along this piece here. Is there anybody from the Archaeological Research Institute on the call right now?
Yep, Liz Sedler here.
Oh, Liz, I'm sorry. I love your hat.
Yeah. So today is our escape room, and it's Indiana Jones themed. So we're all, wearing our fedora type hats today at work. But I just met with our public archaeologist that's focused on the tour and identifying stops. And he's working on the spreadsheet that I think somebody else had created for you, Brewster. And so we're kind of matching that exactly and putting in our points of interest and just working our way down the river, finding different cool spots. So,
well, thank you very much. You guys are doing an amazing job. I just really appreciate you helping us to identify the spots that are publicly accessible and available to check out, that help people better understand the Native American history and culture and others of the archaeological sites along the river.
Yeah,
we'll
I actually was at KHC, the Kentucky Heritage Council, 2 weekends ago, and met a gentleman, an archaeologist in Kentucky, who is doing basically the same thing, but east of Portsmouth. So I think we might have to link him in to what's going on.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for what your organization does and for your role with this piece. We really appreciate it. Cool.
Yep.
step by step. And ultimately, all this will end up being on our website, working with the tourism committee to figure out how to promote these unique themed tours, get people out and about more, visiting our towns. Okay, next is Katie Sparks with the Friendship State Bank has taken on a very exciting job here. Katie, why don't you describe what you are working on?
So I don't know if there's any other craft beer, bourbon, wine lovers out there, but that's something I really enjoy. So I'm excited to be collecting a list right now of our distilleries, our local breweries, and our local wineries along the Ohio Riverway. So if you have some connections, I like great southeastern Indiana, but if Ohio and Kentucky, I'm not quite as familiar. So we have a form that we can link you to and have you fill out some of that information, but really excited about that.
Well, wonderful, Katie. Can you put your email in the chat? And what we'd love to do is if you have a brewery, winery, or distillery in your town, in your county, please email Katie the information about that. The name, the address, the website, so that it can be added to the master spreadsheet that then will become a page on our website that will help people understand sequentially where are the breweries, wineries, and distilleries along the Ohio Riverway. So it's sort of like the beeline for bourbon in Kentucky, but it'll be the Ohio Riverway suck down a drink or two line. We'll call it something better than that. So thank you. That's very exciting. Really appreciate that. Okay, moving right along here. Sean with Behringer Crawford has taken on the responsibility to identify the museum trail. Sean.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Good morning. We're same thing. We're plugging away, a little bit slowed down because of spring breaks, and we are the exhibit that's coming up on March 25th with the Hubbard resident. But we are plugging away. We probably have about 75 museums listed. I think I'll do the same thing. I'll send out a link where if you have one that you'd like to recommend, we can make sure that we add them to the list.
So these are, so for those who represent communities or counties, make sure that your museums covering history, culture, whatever, are on that list. So make sure you send Sean that information. It'll be included, and we'll do, again, a separate museum trail. It'd be cool. I love it. Thank you very much. Appreciate what you're doing with that. Moving right along, I forgot to call out our wonderful Clean Ohio River team, and Annette Schumard with Orsanko and Tricia Novak from the Louisville area are the co-chairs. And Tricia, I see you're on the call. Would you like to give a quick report?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry Annette couldn't be here today, but yeah, our committee just focuses mostly on river sweeps at the moment, and the season is open until October 31st. I plan to put in the chat the Orsanko page for signing up for river sweeps, and I'll also share a link for the river sweep map. There are multiple events already scheduled for this year, which are great. You can join those, or you can plan one on your own. Sarah Seegers with Orsanko can help you with that. You can use their website to request supplies. They provide trash bags and gloves and whatnot. And then also, if you're interested in joining our committee, if you haven't already, our next meeting is March 24th. I'll put my email in the chat as well, and just let me know if you are interested in joining.
What time is it on March 24th? Is it 4?
I'm not sure.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4. Okay.
Yes, 4 p.m. Yes. Yeah.
Could you put that in the chat as well? So
yeah. Absolutely.
So here's the thank you so much. It's wonderful. And Tricia has coordinated the river sweeps in the Louisville area over time and engaged all of her colleagues with her company.
Yep.
You're a rock star with that. So, and she's with Terracon. They do a great job. But here's what we want to do with this effort. We want to make this year's work in every community to do litter cleanup and et cetera along the banks of the Ohio the biggest and best ever. We want more volunteers, more tires collected, more tons of trash collected than ever. And Orsanko historically has run their great Ohio River Sweep program. And instead of it being on one specific day of the year, like in June, it's being spread out. Although there may be a couple of days that we want to try to get as many people in the spring and fall to mobilize volunteers to get engaged. But we would hope that every single community would schedule a day or more to engage businesses and civic volunteers to make their riverfront shine. No trash, no tires, make it really shine for the spring, for the season, the summer, and then in the fall, maybe do it again. So we are putting together, or Sanko is managing the schedule, and we want everybody on there, please, please, please. It's a great opportunity to mobilize your colleagues. Okay, moving right along. We have a very exciting project that you all know about, I know, but we want to update you on where we are with the development of our Ohio Riverway Guide. We're not sure what the title is going to be, but it'll looks like it's a 24 or so page visitor's guide to the Ohio Riverway. And we're working in concert with the folks who do custom publishing at Cincy Magazine. And Lydia Steck is with us today. And Lydia, could you share where we are? There's opportunities here to buy ads. The content will be everything you need to know about all the cool things you can do and where you can do them along the Ohio Riverway. So Lydia, take it away.
Sure. So just to update everyone, we were at 50% to our goal before we even started pursuing and working on contacting folks to advertise. So with Brewster's announcements, folks contacted us and purchased advertising, which put us at 50% of our goal before we even got out there to pursue this, which is great. It's wonderful news. We have some, and so like someone mentioned earlier, the University of Louisville bought the back page. All of the cover positions are sold, except for the inside of the back cover. It looks like Maysville just came in today for they're working on a 2-page spread, which I'm trying to get them to flex the fact that they are voted best small town in the South. I hope that they, will do that. So yeah, I am the person to contact if anyone wants to advertise. And I wanted to mention to Bellevue, the mayor of Bellevue, I did send you an email, but for some reason it came back. So I might not have your correct email. And I saw him on here, Charlie Cleaves, I believe his name is.
Yes, I put it in the chat channel, my email.
Oh, perfect. Yay, good.
Thank
So
you, Mayor.
I will make sure that gets to you because I know we spoke on the phone. Lawrenceburg looks like they just came in just now as we were in this meeting. So we have a lot of wonderful communities that are, going to shine in this publication. I'm super excited about it. I know Brewster had mentioned that there are probably going to be at least 20,000 copies ordered. We will polybag 10,000 copies with our products and get them out to our entire subscription base in the region. So that's the state of Ohio, like through Ohio Business Magazine, through Cincy Magazine, through Midwestern Traveler, through NKY Magazine and Dayton Magazine. So all of our publications, we will get at least 10,000 to our subscribers.
And then we will buy an additional 20,000 or more, maybe 30, for distribution in all the counties, both sides of the river, and also for use at state fairs in Kentucky, for example, at sports shows, tourism exhibitions, et cetera. So Jeff Blum, it's a great opportunity for Claremont County. All right.
Yeah. And then also I want to say that the folks who are advertising, when you pay for an ad, you're also going to be in the digital flip book. So when that digital flip book is up, people are going to be able to click on your ad and it's going to connect to your website or whatever URL you want it to connect to, which is incredible. And we will be doing a digital push for this as well, because we are just as excited as everyone else about this adventure guide. So, we're going to be doing a lot of work around it. And then the other thing to keep in mind that when you do buy advertising in it, you yourself will get, your organization will get so many copies of the adventure guide to be able to distribute as you see fit. You will be a priority, at least from our viewpoint. Cincy Magazine, will, the advertisers will be a priority in making sure that you get copies of it to distribute or use as you see fit.
So one thing to underscore is that obviously the print version, a minimum of 10,000 distributed through your inserts, another 20 to 30,000 that we will order for distribution, which is like 200 boxes of these things. It's like we have to get our own truck to move these things around. But then the digital version, the flip book, will be available obviously on our website, on your website, Lydia, but also that ideally can be put on every website for all the tourism agencies, because the more people know there are all kinds of things, not just in your community, your county, that they can check out, the more they're going to come and check yours out as well. Okay, so thank you so much. Wayne is our overall editor for this, working hand in glove with Forrest on our team to develop the content. And so there'll be all kinds of information about fishing, paddling, camping, hiking, cycling, breweries, wineries, and still all this stuff here about things that you can do and enjoy along the Ohio Riverway outdoors, but inside as well. Okay, moving right along.
One big plug, Brewster, is members of the Ohio Riverway get a discount if you want to be an advertiser in it. So let's everybody join Ohio Riverway as a paying member.
Yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. I actually, because of the discount, I actually have recruited some folks to become members of the Ohio Riverway. So I'm hooking them up with Forrest. And then they do, as a member, you do get a 15% discount, which is actually a few $100s. Like, it's nothing to joke about. I mean, it's amazing the difference in price that it actually makes. So it's a good thing. So just know that if you're a member, which almost all of you are, at least the list that Brewster sent me, I know those are members and I can offer them the 15% discount. So it's really wonderful and it does make a difference.
And I just noted that Cincinnati Parks came through with an ad yesterday, so hats off. So if you're a park district, if you're a county or community tourism bureau, if you're a unique site that you want to draw people to, an historic site, et cetera, please consider using this tool to reach a wide audience of folks up and down the river. Okay, so moving right along here, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and Lydia or Forrest or Wayne can get back to you. Okay, so next, let's keep moving along here. David, give us an update on the paddle.
We're just very excited really about paddling again, June 2nd to June 11th. We're leaving downtown Portsmouth on June 2nd. It's really, we're looking for some paddlers. And if you haven't seen this video that Brewster and Tracy Barnes and a couple other people who are featured, along with Jerry and his safety boat, it's just a great overview of what we do and why we do what we do. And so it's on our Facebook page. And if you haven't really visited our Facebook page much, that's another thing we can ask you to do, is to go in on the Facebook page, like it, share it, because it really is, this one piece is really good. If you want to get more information really on our challenge, you know, it's right up there on the new Ohio Riverway web page that Forrest has created. So it's really under the events page, Ohio River Challenge, and it gives you all the basic background of it. These are the boats that we use. So we can accommodate up to 40 people paddling at one time if we have all 4 boats. The ideal really is about 20 people. And then what we do is, if we paddle on into, say, Janet's Augusta, and you want to paddle on down from Augusta like Heather French Henry did last year, to go on down to Shiloh, we can accommodate those occasional one-day paddlers. That's all flexible depending on how many people we have in the boat. just finally want to give a big shout out to Jerry Schulte, who's going to be our safety guy, but also Brewster Rhodes, who is planning all of the onshore activities, and we'll have a truck full of these guides distribute. We aren't going to take the guides in the canoes just because I don't think they're waterproof. I have put this the link for here, and it says apply to join in the chat a couple times, along with that YouTube video from Metro TV. We're really encouraging folks who are artists who want to come along. You know, photographers, artists, writers. It's sort of, you know, it's open to anybody who, the bottom line is, have to sit on a hard wooden bench for 10 hours and put up with 5 or 6 or 8 people in the boat.
But you can bring a pillow.
You can bring a pillow. You can. We have other seats and other things like that. But the bottom line is, we go rain or shine, and Jerry is very good at it to say, get off the river now because a storm is coming. And so we are safe. And the final piece is, you got to be an early morning person to do this, because the winds come up in the afternoon and we like to be on the water at dawn. And my final deal is, check out this feature video with that John Nation and Joe Wallach did. It said it gives you a longer version of the piece. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions, and I'll pass it back to Brewster.
So just to recap, starting the 2nd of June in Portsmouth, and thank you, Nate and others, for our kickoff in Portsmouth. It's going to be great. We'll be spending the next 10 days on the river, coming down to Cincinnati, and then all the way down to Louisville. And so we'll be stopping at towns during midday, and then and then late in the day we'll spend the night and have dinner. So it's an opportunity for each of you to think through, gee, how do you want to use us coming through there to get media to cover what your community is doing to participate in the Ohio River Way, what the Ohio River Way is all about. We had 18 ribbon cutting events last year. We're not going to do that this year. We already cut the ribbon on the Ohio River Way, but it's a chance for you all to get some press attention to the work you're doing in your communities to participate with and collaborate with the Ohio River Way. Okay, so check out the website, and we'll deal with that next. Okay, continuing on, I think we should jump while we are talking about the website. Forrest, if you could give us a quick overview of the updated version of the website, because Forrest is just doing a great job. So Forrest, take it away.
Sure thing. So this is the new version of the website. Actually just launched it yesterday. Here's the homepage, and I wanted to run through a couple things that I thought might be relevant to you all. First, I've been working on building our events page. This is what that looks like. Right now, we only have about close to 70 events in here, but really we want to make this much, much larger. I have a list that I'm still going to add, but if there are any that you all would like to add that you're having in your community, just click here, submit an event, and it'll take you to a form that will show you exactly what I need to be able to put that in there as quickly as possible. Another page that would be helpful is our page on becoming a member. If you haven't submitted your dues, or if you know anyone that you think might be interested in becoming a member, this is the right place to take them. We'll take you to the direct form where you can pay online, and you can also submit this form here if you have any questions, and that will come right back to me. And as promised, we also do list all of our members and their logos on our website. So if you want to see a full list of who our partners are.
And they are the links live to their websites?
Yes, they are. Yes. Another bit that I've been working on is our pages on the river towns. This is something we've had before, but just wanted to show it to you again. If you're a member community, you can have a quick page here. Just shows a little bit of information. And if there are anything in particular that you think should go under explore for your community, I am happy to add that as well. Everything is under construction here. The website works, it's launched, but I am continuing to add things as we go along. One thing Brewster asked me to point out is we do have a merch page. If you would like to, say, get a Ohio River Way flask or a shirt for your dog. anyways, I think that is about for me. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out.
So if you have any questions, do put them in the chat. And Faris has just done an amazing job. It's just wonderful to have you on board, Faris. Thank you very much. You're kicking it. But the website is the major way that the public can understand and learn what we're doing, and communicate all that you are doing in your communities and your organizations and agencies, to promote the beauty and majesty of the Ohio River and all it has to offer us for outdoor recreation. So moving right along. Thank you, buddy. So Francis, let's jump back to you about membership and the fundraising work you are doing to support communities.
Okay, so I'm going to be super quick because I want to get to the other regional work that Jordan's here to speak about, but the membership update. So very quickly, as you can see from our guide, there's financial reasons why you should be participants of the official members of the Ohio River Way. It gets you a discount in the guide, but we are at a point with our membership where we're starting to comb through the list of who's not paid yet, and if we're calling you, that means you haven't. But we're at a point with our membership push, which was newly launched last year, that we're that far along with it. Any questions on that? Contact myself or Forrest. The website has the membership, a way to join by the website as well. Next is the March 23rd. This is the first time we're doing this. We are hosting with the National Park Service as a promo, as a preview to it, but a webinar with 3 different states, program directors for the RTP program and the Land Water Conservation Fund program for your state. So any community along the Ohio River that wants to do something fun along your Ohio River and needs resources to do that, and there's parameters around all of that, but please join us next week at this hour or on the 23rd to go through how it is that you could apply for a land water conservation fund or RTP funds if you're a community or a county along the way. Last year we applied in 2022 for a National Fish and Wildlife regional grant application through the America's the Beautiful a new program. We are going to reapply this year with a major focus on conservation based off of we didn't get the award last year. We're going to keep trying for the regional resources, which is part of the infrastructure grant, Federal Infrastructure Act. We are also, as Wayne noted, working on the funding through the Appalachian Regional Commission and also the state of Ohio's Appalachian funding. We have submitted for a planner through the Ohio portal that was referenced earlier, but the wisdom on the street is that if you are a community and you need a planner, you need to reach out and get a planner assigned to you through that resource in Ohio. We are also exploring again in 23 potential earmark requests. So that is another option for us. Then last 3 things, because of the work of David and Brewster, we've been asked to apply to a national retailer for a capacity building grant. And that was a major to-do to get asked to apply. So we are in the process of doing that. That could be a considerable resources coming to us through one of the national outdoor retailers. I think it was announced last month, but I want to reiterate it. The National Park Service is with us again this year and have confirmed that they're going to be able to provide 2 experienced workers from a capacity standpoint. That's great. As you can see, we've got a lot going on and we need all the manpower and woman power we can get. And the last thing is we have the big major news, and stay tuned on this, is we have an offer from one of the local major philanthropic houses to have a capacity building grant in the form of a full-time staff person. So we're working on that. Stay tuned, but we hope to have a job announcement soon for a director for this work. So with that, Brewster, if there's any questions, I'll put my info in the chat. I want to keep going because I know we're low on time.
Thank you, Francis. Excellent job. Appreciate all you're doing. So, Jordan, we are so glad to have you representing the National Wildlife Federation. You are spearheading the effort to develop, with a broad network of people throughout the Ohio River Basin, a restoration plan for the Ohio River watershed. So, Jordan, we look forward to a presentation from you over the next 10, 12 minutes. Take it away.
Sure. Hey, thanks, Brewster, and thanks for all the updates. Really exciting, inspiring, wonderful work y'all are doing. And I think it fits hand in hand with what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to protect and restore this great resource so we have more recreational opportunities, we have more tourism, we have more access. So where we are now, again, my name is Jordan Lebeck, and I'm oversee our Ohio River restoration work. It's a priority of the National Wildlife Federation, and this is in collaboration with a lot of folks, the Ohio River Basin Alliance or Sanko, Ohio Riverway, all sorts of folks. So where are we? So our task is to craft and then get the federal funding to implement a broad, visionary, and bold restoration plan to tackle a lot of the ongoing, persistent, and emerging threats from toxic pollution or sewage overflows or, loss of habitat, invasive species. We still have a lot of Superfund sites in this region. So what we're trying to do is craft that plan that lays out a strong and powerful case statement to give members of Congress, the House and Senate, and President Biden the information they need to, put millions and eventually billions of dollars into this geography, which it's long overdue. And so where are we? We have a work group much like this of over 120 some folks from academia, state and federal agencies, NGOs, all with a common goal of crafting this plan. We've been working for about over a year, and we're trying to wrap things up this early summer. We have 9 committees. We have been working with the 2 federally recognized tribes who are still in the area, the Seneca Nation of Indians and the Eastern Band of Cherokee, to make sure those sovereign nations have their conservation and clean water priorities not just reflected, but centered in the plan. I think we're making good progress. I think the next 3 months is really where the rubber hits the road. Our goal is to release this in June / early July. And so, and that would be for public comment. The brief timeline is we want to release the plan in early to midsummer, put it out for public comment so folks who haven't been a part of the process can look at it, assess it, see what they like to say about it. Do we miss anything? Do we like to emphasize anything? And then by the end of the year, sign, seal, and deliver it to Congress. So hopefully we can get some legislation going in 2024 and funding as well. So where are we? I'd just like to mention Vicki. Thank you very much for going to our Cincinnati listening session. I, both for personal and professional reasons, that's the first one I missed. I think that was the 25th or 26th. We've done about 10 to 15 in person, about equal in person and virtual. We've reached over 500 folks. I think, Vicki, I've yet to get the rundown, but if past is prologue and it comports to that one, we usually get great ideas, great input, great energy, and great passion, much like what you guys are getting. So I just like to go through a few bullet points, like what are we hearing? And we're hearing probably a lot of what you may expect, and maybe some things you wouldn't expect. We hear things like flooding is a huge issue. We know with climate change, it's bringing more intense storms, both intense storms and drought periods. Like we saw historic lows on the Mississippi, and that affected the Ohio and navigation and everything else. We hear about pollution issues, sewage overflows, or toxic PFAS, which this region is kind of ground zero for that issue. We also hear about a more expansive view of what folks would like to see. If we're pumping in millions of dollars and eventually billions to the region, people in communities large and small have said, hey, we'd like to see workforce development, job training, apprentice programs, so that these jobs don't come and go, that we're developing as we're developing a tourism economy, as we're developing our waterfronts, as we're developing access, we're developing like these strong local economies that go hand in hand with that. We're hearing about pollution prevention. I think a lot of restoration activities focus on the federal cleanup and the money, the cleanup mistakes we made in the past. We're hearing a strong emphasis, and this is probably in part or large part due to PFAS being such a prevalent and salient issue, that we like to see perhaps stronger protections, stronger enforcement, stronger monitoring and data collection, and also stronger and more consistent information sharing with the public. What is going on in the water? Or Sanko did a pretty sort of precedent-setting study on PFAS up and along the river, which was illuminating. We know the EPA a few days ago, or if we don't know, I'm telling you, the EPA put out some guidance for how we confront toxic PFAS in drinking water. And I think these are the kinds of things the public wants to know more about. The health of the river and the health of our communities go hand in hand. And so we're hearing great things from these listening sessions. I think those are going to be really the foundation of the plan to make sure this is really a people's plan. I think a lot of the issues, you know, aren't new, but I think a lot of, I guess the one other issue that may be interesting is housing issues. You know, as we're cleaning up and restoring the river, as we're cleaning up and restoring neighborhoods, people want to make sure that homeowners are helped. In a lot of rural areas, there are septic systems that are failing left and right. Those are huge expenditures, especially for people who are living below at or near the poverty level. And so how do we help homeowners with some of this, not just pollution prevention, but also how do we help people so that when we're putting in a lot of money and home values go up, we aren't inadvertently displacing people who have lived there for generations and want to enjoy the river access. They want to enjoy the community. They want to enjoy the benefits. So how are we helping the people who've lived there the longest and have endured? And I guess lastly, and I see in the comment section, I'll just reflect upon the general principle of helping communities most in need. We know that if you're living near a Superfund site, that pollution issue is a lot more prevalent than if you're maybe living somewhere else. So we want to make sure that investments are prioritized in the communities that have been hardest hit by pollution and harm, to make sure that everyone has clean and safe drinking water, everyone has access, everyone can enjoy the benefits, everyone can fish. We can eventually do away with fish consumption advisories. So suffice to say, a lot is going on. There's a lot to sort of put and thread the needle on a plan. And again, the next 3 months is really critical, and probably by the time you guys are pulling in to Louisville on your boat tour, we should be hopefully wrapping up this plan, and we're hoping that we can have a pretty big celebration June or July and get this thing some momentum. So really appreciate the opportunity to give an update. I know you guys are tight on time, but if there's a question or two, I'd be happy to take it. And if not, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. And I also appreciate the offer. I missed the first Conservation Committee meeting due to a conflict, but I'm really happy to see that. I think that's a great way we can tie in the priorities of both of these endeavors. So that's great.
So Jordan, can you just, for context inside these United States, this is a focused effort from your organization for the Ohio River Valley. Is there precedent-setting approaches that were taken that the National Wildlife Foundation has worked on in other areas that we could sort of look to for our end game goal of what we're trying to do for the Ohio Valley?
Yeah, so great question. Every year the federal government funds our great waters to protect and restore our great waters, from the Great Lakes to the Chesapeake to the Puget Sound, the Delaware River, Florida Everglades, Gulf Coast, you name it. There's a big zero in this part of the country. There's a big zero by the Ohio River. I have a slide. I didn't do a slide deck because for both personal and professional reasons, I'm in a hotel in DC. So it's been a hectic week for me. But there is a slide we show that there's like all this money going into these great ecosystem restoration efforts, and there's not one for this part of the country. So yes, while the National Wildlife Federation has helped, supported, or in some cases led kind of broader coalitions to push this work, there's nothing, I mean, we are helping lead this. And it's not just the National Wildlife Federation. I should say this is clearly under the umbrella of the Ohio River Basin Alliance, which started this process. We are working hand in hand with them, with Orsenco, with many other partners. So I want to give credit where it's due, which is this is a big team effort. I will say this though, while I think it's somewhat inexcusable that this region has not gotten its fair share for many years, I do think that we are doing things that other ecosystem restoration efforts are only now retroactively going back to look at. And by that, I mean, we're tying ecosystem health to public health and tying that community health to ecosystem. So by that, I mean, like some indicators like, you know, phosphorus reduced or fish miles open up when you take down a dam. They're ecological indicators. Well, what about the human health aspect of that? And so I think, you know, that can be access, that can be all sorts of things. It can be tribal traditional ecological knowledge and take into account that kind of wisdom. So I think we are really trying to sort of what I would call it as restoration 2.0. So I really hope that this region benefits from what has come before it, and we are adding to that. And I think it's exciting, it's daunting, but I think in the end of the day, it's going to be wonderful for this region. And just to be crass, it'll give us a lot more money to do the things we need to do to accelerate progress.
Jordan, just to ask a quick question, I've put in the chat about the Ohio River Congressional Caucus that Ohio River Basin Alliance is very involved in. Is there something that our members should be doing over this next period of time to support it with our legislators?
Great question. I was going to end with that. That's perfect. We need to be getting more visible in front of members of Congress. I think the key to this will be the Ohio River Congressional Caucus acting as one body and pushing this as a collective regional priority. To date, the caucus needs a little bit of like oomph. In Louisville, you guys have a wonderful new freshman House member, excuse me, Mr. Morgan McGarvey. He's the new co-chair of the Ohio River Congressional Caucus with his Republican counterpart in Marietta, Ohio, Representative Bill Johnson. They are committed to this. They're committed to energizing the delegation. And I would sort of put on your calendars, we just heard about a date on this the other day, but June 13th, the U.S. Army Corps and Ohio River Basin Alliance is hosting like an Ohio River Day on the Hill in DC. The contours of that are still very much up in the air. Suffice to say, this will be a good time to get visibility in front of members of Congress. The general thrust is this is an opportunity where if people have time and want to do it, we go to DC, we have a convening in the morning, a big sort of like pump up session, and then we hit the Hill in offices and knock on doors and say, hey, we hope this will be a priority of yours. We hope you'll join the caucus. And by the way, when the plan comes out, we really need some champions to support it. Again, that's about what I know. A save the date, I don't think he even has gone out. I asked for permission to share this information with you on this call. So you guys are probably one of the first groups who are hearing it. So June 13th, more to come. But in the meantime, I would say if you have contact with the district offices of your members of Congress, including the House and Senate members, just as you're giving the bullet points for Ohio River Way and the need for recreation, the need for access, and the need for like tourism, if you could just mention the need for also federal funding to help restore some of the ecosystem function and make all of that go much more smoothly. Once we got that date, I just don't have time this week, but what I could do is share just like 3 bullet points of how we plan on talking about this endeavor. So if you want to roll that into your your elevator pitch, I think we really need to, over the next 3 months, get members of Congress sort of engaged, energized, and really excited about this, which is what you guys do really well.
You know, we do have 4 Kentucky representatives on the Congressional Caucus, and there's 3 from Ohio, or 2 from Ohio, and actually 3 from Ohio and 1 from Indiana. So it'd be great to get all of our congressional representatives in the Ohio River Way active with the Congressional Caucus.
Jordan, thank you very much. Excellent. We appreciate your leadership and all the hard work that everybody in the Ohio River Basin Alliance and your organization are doing. So we're grateful. Okay, folks.
Thank you.
Good. So we are wrapping up. And number one, I'd be grateful if folks can put in the chat your reaction to this meeting. We putting too much stuff on the agenda. Is it helpful? Is it of interest to you? Are there any suggestions for how to make these meetings more productive and useful for you? Secondly, I just want to run down these meeting times that we have lined up, right? These future meetings are coming up here. So number one, our Clean Ohio committee, led by Tricia and Annette, is March 24th at 4 o'clock, Friday, March 24th at 4 o'clock. And we'll send this out and follow up to you. That's the one where we want every community to schedule a river cleanup during the spring and summer and fall. Secondly, our conservation committee that Jordan highlighted is at 10 o'clock on April 6th. April 6th, 10 o'clock conservation committee. Our tourism group will be meeting on the 12th of April at 10 a.m. April 12th, 10 a.m. And on the 23rd, of March, as you heard us talk, as Francis talked, we have our webinar at 12 noon to 1 o'clock on funding. So if you want to get money for projects in your community through the Land and Water Conservation Fund or the Regional Trails Program, this is a way to learn about the deadlines and the details. So we're trying to help you get money for what you want to do to improve your assets. Next, remember the paddle. We're coming to your town the 2nd through the 11th of June. Think about how we can be helpful to get out the word about what you are doing in your communities, all the assets that you are working to develop. We want to have this be helpful to you. So the 2nd to the 11th of June, we're coming your way. Check out the website. Make sure that if you see any mistakes or problems, especially when we talk about your community, please let Forest know so we can take care of that quickly. And by all means, make sure your events are on our calendar. We had 150 last year. So any given weekend, there's 7 or 8 or 9 festivals, exciting events, reasons for people to travel up and down the Ohio River Way, however they do it. But that really needs to be on you guys increasingly, because we try to find everything we can, but we miss a lot. So please enter your own events. And that's it. So thank you very, very much, folks. I think we're on time. We're very grateful. And we're going to stay on for another 15 minutes to have our water cooler chat. But this is the official end of the agenda. So thank you very much. We will see you. The next meeting is the 20th of April at 10 in the morning. April 20th at 10. We would love to see you all back here again. And boy, we'll be right in the middle of putting the finishing touches on the printing, actually, right, Lydia, of the Ohio River Guide. So make sure you're in it.
Yeah,
you'll
actually,
be missing an opportunity.
Ad art close is April 19th.
Great. So you have to get your ad and payment all in well before then.
Yep.
Okay. So thank you very much, folks. We're going to hang around a little bit and appreciate any feedback you have about this format. I'm sorry we can't all meet in person, but people aren't going to be driving like 100 miles to go to a meeting, right? Thank you very much, folks. We're going to hang around.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, but stay with us if you'd like to participate in our little water cooler chat.
Brewster, I have 3 questions for you. This is Richard of Indiana.
Yes.
One is what does it cost for putting an ad into the guide?
Lydia can put the link, if perhaps, to the rate sheet. Lydia, are you still with us? She may have had to go.
I think she left.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can send it to you, Richard, but it runs, I mean, it's not cheap, but because it's a huge reach, right? But it's the rate. It's so for like $800, you can get a quarter-page ad, and like $2,500, you get a full-page ad. It's in that range, right? Which is actually comparable to major tourism bureau publication rates.
Okay, just want to get an idea. If you could send that to me or post it on the website or such, that'd be helpful. 2 other questions. One is, would you consider having a committee, a subcommittee, as it were, of the whole group, going from basically Westport or West Louisville over to the Illinois line, to Evansville, Mount Vernon, and that area? And it would operate like a committee. It would operate somewhat separately. It report to you now and then when it's doing things, but have a committee there which would not put I know you're busy with everything you've talked about here and more, but if there was a committee of Indiana people, that would be helpful for us, if you would consider that in any case.
Yes.
Well, maybe I could talk
David.
a little bit about that, Brewster. This is David, and would love to talk with you about it. One of the pieces that we've started the process off of looking at regions, and and we might go with the Army Corps pools. And so, Louisville region really is Westport to West Point, the 50-mile stretch. And there is the Kentucky or the Falls of the Ohio Foundation with Kenton Wooden, and he's interested in the same process. And so do we do it by Indiana? Do we do it by region? And so that conversation is happening now. And would love to work with you, at least on this lower section where I am, and figuring out how to really feature this section. And then we'll have another section from the pool there by Cincinnati, and then the one above Mendal up to Portsmouth. I'm not sure if that answers it.
Well, Richard, the bottom line is we would love to have this discussion. It raises, a lot of issues about our capacity to service communities beyond West Point. But frankly, there are all kinds of ways that communities beyond West Point to the west can take advantage of the Ohio Riverway website, our communication system, etc. For example, you all can, on your own, with our assistance, thinking this through, can build out the digital guide with points of interest west of West Point, as far as you want to go. And maybe we need to have a separate conference call that would include folks from Evansville and you guys and others, Meade County and other places to talk this through.
I noticed that Mike Weinzaffel is on the line, and I don't know from where he comes, but there's a person with his name who's been mayor of Evansville before. And I'm just thinking that there are people in west of Louisville toward Evansville, toward Mount Vernon, Indiana, who on either side of the river would be interested in trying to pull this together in some way or another. There's a third question that I have, and that's going the other way, and that is from Cincinnati to Portsmouth. The Amtrak runs from Cincinnati to Maysville and then pulls away from that, and so does the American Discovery Trail. But I'm wondering what it would take to get sort of a walking or bicycle route on county roads or whatever roads on both the north and the south side of the Ohio River from Maysville to Portsmouth. Actually from Cincinnati to Portsmouth, but with the American Discovery Trail, there's already a route established to get from Cincinnati to Maysville. So extending from Maysville to Portsmouth, and that would go through Ashland and Huntington area, and trying to connect that together on both sides of the river. And the beauty is that that's where Amtrak is. So anybody hiking or bicycling could take Amtrak, get off, and then bicycle to Cincinnati or bicycle eastward, whichever way they wanted to. Who do you know wants to set up a road, a hiking, bicycle, and for that matter of fact, a wheelchair way to get from Maysville to Portsmouth?
Well, tell you what, if you could send a follow-up note, we'll dialogue next about that with you. Okay.
Okay, I'll send you an email, and
that's good. Yeah,
and you can share it with David Wicks and others and go from there.
No, we appreciate it. I mean, you guys have been just wonderful, and I know you have a statewide footprint and set of responsibilities, but we appreciate you thinking beyond your state boundaries and helping to develop this trail network. So thank you very much.
In many ways, I think include Jerry Schulte on that email, because as we think through the process for a national recreation trail, it has to be in the context of the entire river. And so how we relate to it, and I think it's a great conversation, and it is an issue of capacity, but I think link Jerry into it. I think it'd be great.
I'll send you an email and you can flash it to anybody else you want to, and we can create a loop and just keep the loop spinning.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brewster, Jim Mallory here.
Yeah, Jim.
Let me chat with you. You asked for feedback, and let me give you a story that took place just yesterday afternoon, or midday yesterday, that relates to what you're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. This goes back to the summit meeting of last December in Lawrenceburg. I was contacted a few weeks ago by Dr. Scott Schulte, professor of life and physical science at Ivy Tech. He wasn't at the meeting, but he had heard about it, and he wanted to know how he could get Lewis and Clark National Historic Trail Auto Tour route sign for Lawrenceburg. I chatted with him by email, made contact for him and introduced him to our staff in Omaha, Nebraska. Yesterday, we actually delivered, Lewis and Clark Trust delivered a auto tour route sign for Lawrenceburg, along with some individual trail markers for the Dearborn Trail, which runs through Lawrenceburg. The outreach, the networking at these meetings that really does pay off. It fits perfectly with the Lewis and Clark Trust mission of preservation through education. Scott is actually taking a class of 15 students this semester and teaching outreach within the community. He wants to install an auto tour route sign, let the students be part of the installation process, getting local mayor and local government's permission to put the sign up, He wants to comply with the National Historic Trail requirements that the sign be on the designated auto route. So good things are really happening. As a result of our conversation over lunch yesterday, my focus for the last year has been so much administrative work. There was something in the back of my mind that kept saying, wait a minute, there's more to this conversation than just the administrative side of what we're talking about. And it came to me last night or yesterday afternoon as I was driving back. Oh, Dearborn County, Dearborn Trail. Dearborn is named after Secretary of War Dearborn, Thomas Jefferson, Secretary of War. And the academic side of it all pulled together. So I have responded to Scott this morning, bringing back into the academic side of it for his class and his students up there. These signs are going to go up.
Cool.
The Lewis and Clark Trust by default has fallen heir to a number of the highway signs that we're distributing and help distributing along the trail from actually from Fort Steubenville, Ohio this year to Wickliffe, Kentucky. A hip replacement has slowed me down in that process, but they will go up, and we're getting them out all along the trail. So the meetings are doing some good. Thank you.
Well, appreciate that's great feedback. Things happen in a variety of unique ways here. Just networking pays off big time.
They really do.
Jim and Brewster, here's just a thought. We do have a whole trails committee that is looking to have a underground railroad trail, to have the Native American and archaeological sites. And as we heard, the museum trail. I think, Jim, it'd be perfect for you to join that committee and really to have that Lewis and Clark historic trail, which is probably more organized and federally funded than we are in a lot of ways. So however we can work together, I think is a good thing. And we just, maybe that trails committee is the place to do that.
Great.
Thanks, David. And David, if you can get another 2 or 3 hours into my 48-hour per day schedule, I'd really appreciate it. I'd like to talk with that group, but I just need to get on their schedule so we can figure out when. I just don't have many hours left in my day.
Hey, Dennis Dalton, it's great to have you on board there, buddy. Thanks for what you guys are doing. You're just rocking it out that way up in New Richmond. So,
well, thanks, Brewster. Sorry I was late, buddy.
No
appreciate
problem.
you guys.
And I see that Kelly's on with us as well. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I don't think there's a day that goes by that we're not bringing up ORW to really anybody that's willing to listen.